All right, welcome to uh oh man, what number is this? Anyway, it's Simon Chartier's New York Story. Uh just like one more little postscript about Forest Hills. The last story is about me uh listening to Tommy Ramone and Joey Ramone, their first band practicing in the apartment right next to mine. But here's just a couple of things about Forest Hills that I remember. Uh, we went to my father was like, let's go to the 1965 World's Fair. I want to see the new Mustang, the Ford Mustang, it just came out. So we go to the World's Fair, and it's like this big giant thing. It's still there. They have this big giant Unisphere, this globe, and these different things, but they had all these different pavilions to represent the different countries. And they had all kinds of rides you could go on. They had these cars, like they had all the brand new cars of that year on this like kind of a track, and you could get into the car and it would just go through this little shit, like this little like I don't know how to, like you get in this fucking car, you weren't driving it, but it would go on this track, and they had all other kinds of rides. I remember my dad went, they had these pavilions from these different countries. So they had this German pavilion, right? So the German pavilion, it was like a beer hall, and they had all these wooden benches and everything. And they had the waiters and waitresses were all dressed in like the German national costume. I don't know what it's called, but those skirts with the women had the skirts with the embroidery, like the dress and the headdress. And then the guys had those stockings and shit. So they were like the German national costume. I'm sorry, I don't remember what they're called. I can't speak German, but so they have the German pavilion. So my father wanted to go there because that's where the beer is, right? So we go there, and like I'm 6 years old, my brother's 4. My brother's like tiny, and my father goes to we go to the German pavilion, and then it's like they have these giant steins of beer, right? Like they're this big. So all of a sudden it's boom, one empty one, two empty ones, three empty ones. And I remember there was just like a whole shitload of empty beer steins in front of my dad. And my dad is really big and fat. He's like taller than me, but he was like 350 pounds. He was a huge fat guy. And now he's fucking loaded. And my dad hated everybody, but he really hated Germans. So he gets up on the bench. He climbs up all 350 pounds, and he starts screaming, and he starts throwing Hitler salutes and screaming Heil Hitler and yelling Goebbels, Goering, Goebbels, SS, all this fucking he giving Nazi salutes, and they threw us out of the fucking World's Fair. We got thrown out of the World's Fair on our ass. I had to like hold my brother by the hand. The security came. They kicked us out. My father was fucking wasted, right? So we walked back from Corona to Forest Hill. So like the next day, that kid Danny's mom, the dad was a Nazi. He was in the fucking Nazi army in World War II. But now I'm like, he's the kid that I played with. I played guitar. So then the next day we went to the World's Fair again, but the mother took us, so I got to go back. So that was my father. And then, my father also, like, him and my mom, they didn't get along. They were always fighting. It got they get pretty fucking nasty sometimes. And like, I'm 6 years old or something. Now remember, almost everybody in these buildings was immigrants, right? So nobody spoke the same language. There was like, I just remember every language you could ever imagine: Chinese, Urdu, Spanish, Russian, Yiddish, every language. So there was this kid, Vladimir, this Russian kid, but all the American kids, they called him Bloody Milk because they couldn't pronounce Vladimir, right? So Vladimir could not speak one fucking word of English except for like, I am Vladimir. And I can't speak Russian to this day. but we were pals. We hung out. We couldn't really talk about nothing, but we would hang out and, like, you know, try to play stickball or go around, you know, do what little kids do. So I had these matches and the cigarette lighter I found, and my father was like passed out in this straw chair, and I was like, Vladimir, let's kill my dad. Let's burn my dad on fire. And then he can't, like, beat the shit out of my mom anymore, right? Because we'll burn him on fire. So I tried to fucking burn the chair, and it caught fire. It was like this wicker straw chair or something. My dad is like, and it caught fire. And I guess the smoke, he woke him up or something. And he was like, he got up. Then he seen me behind the fucking chair. And oh man, if I tell you, I got the fucking shit beat out of me, like, oh, I got fucking thrashed. I tried to fucking kill my father when I was 6 years old. I tried to burn my fucking father on fire. Like, what can I tell you? I've always been a fucked up motherfucker. All right, kids, that's my story for tonight. Take care. Mwah.